Hey guys, it's that girl. Um, Today I wanted to talk about negativity. At least I was planning to. Um, Recent events have not been entirely inspiring. Um, so I didn't want to focus too much on that because I did want to talk about negativity, but I think if I focus too much on that, I might, I don't know, it might get political, or I might just lose faith in all of humanity, and that's not fair. Because yes, some responses were horrific, but some were actually quite positive, and I found that inspiring, that even in the midst of something so awful and so tragic and unfair, that people could still get back up and aim for something positive and still keep living, and that they could get back up and keep going and find a reason to keep going rather than just kind of stopping and just giving up, I guess. So that, I found that very inspiring. But back to the topic, as I'm not going to talk about recent events, because hopefully we won't have to for much longer. So back to the whole thing of negativity. I've seen quite often, I know it's probably obvious to people now, well, it should be, a lot of people highlight it and things, but I didn't want this video to be too enthusiastic in light of recent events, and I didn't want it to be too deep at the same time, because otherwise I know I'd shut down. So I've noticed that often in cases of negativity, well, I find I get very negative when I'm just around people who say negative things or act negatively. Like recently, people who respond negatively and people who don't, people who criticize but not constructively. Like, constructive criticism can be helpful, but some people take that and just say criticism with no explanation, no ways to improve, and that's just unhelpful. It's like on YouTube videos, like I've seen them they got thousands of dislikes, and their likes outnumber their dislikes by millions or something, I don't know, but I don't see the point of disliking a YouTube video because nothing happens. I mean, sure, you probably won't see it in your suggestions, but you could just ignore it. Or people who post mean comments on videos, like, oh, this wasn't funny, or your voice is so annoying. They don't have to watch the video. There is a thing on the website that allows you to exit. You can stop the video. You can press the little X in the corner. You know, just what's the point? I think I've lost my point. Yeah, negativity sometimes is quite stupid. I find that people focus on the negative so much that the negative could be so small. It could be a needle in a haystack, and they'll find it and they'll ignore everything around it. You know, it could be, I don't know, like, imagine this massive painting and it's like the size of a wall or something, I don't know, but and someone finds a small smudge of a colour that's not meant to be in a certain place, and they stand so close to the wall that all they see is that smudge, and they cannot see the rest of the painting, and they can't enjoy it because all they're seeing is that smudge. And I think that's the problem with negativity. I mean, we all feel negative sometimes, and we all get annoyed, we all get sad or angry, frustrated, we all feel bad, but if you let that become your focus, that's when you're in trouble, because that's all you'll see, and you won't see the beauty of life, of everything in front of you. I mean, I'm very privileged, obviously. I mean, got a digital camera, I've got a bed to sleep in, and sometimes I do take that for granted. But you know, you've got to appreciate everything you have in life, because there are thousands of people who don't, and if you just focus on the negatives of your life, then you're really doing them a disservice, because, you know, sorry, my camera ran out of battery, so you'll have to forgive me if I lose my thread. Yeah, if you drop some change down like a gutter or something, and you spend all day so focused on that and so angry about that, it almost doesn't matter what happens in your day. And no matter how many good things happen, maybe, I don't know, maybe you meet someone and they could be your next partner, but you're too angry to talk to them, so you don't get their number. Or your boss was considering giving you a promotion, but you're an absolute dick to them, so they have to reconsider. You know, or even if they gave you a promotion, you'd think, oh great, a promotion, that balances it out. You know, you'd be judging everything compared to how annoyed or how disappointed you were at losing some change. You know, and I know it's a silly example, but you know, some people, they get so they're so focused on the negative things in their lives that life almost becomes meaningless, because no matter what happens, they're always thinking of that moment that they felt bad. You know, they're living in that moment, and you can't live in the past. You've got to move on, and sometimes that takes more time, but in the end we've all got to move on, move forward with our lives, and try and stay as positive as we can. Sometimes it is hard. Sometimes people need time to come to terms with what's happened, to find any ray of hope to move forward. But eventually everyone needs to find a way to get past what happened. You know, like, there's a lot of examples of divorced couples. You know, one of them moves on with their lives, accepts what has happened, and carries on, finds someone else maybe, and lives. And the other just sits in that feeling, in that moment of sadness, of anger, of frustration, of regret, and they just sit there and they stagnate, and they become so bitter and so hard to the world that, you know, you wouldn't think they're the same species, let alone that they were married. You know, and you've got to move on, because if you don't move on, then the negativity will just eat you alive. You know, it is hard to be positive, I know that, but there will always be hope. There will always be someone who's in the same boat as you. That's another thing with negativity. You think you're so alone, and you think there's no one there who understands me, but there is always someone that will understand you. And that's what I think is so great about the internet, because it's so much easier to find those people, and you can talk through your problems, and you can find a resolution, and it's a lot easier to move past it and be more positive. So I guess the whole point of this is try not to be negative. You know, don't press your face up to the flaws in life and ignore the big picture. Enjoy life as much as you can for what it is, you know, because yes, life sucks sometimes, but when you don't focus on the times that it does suck, life moves on, and so we have to move on, otherwise we just get pulled behind and things seem to get worse. So we've got to pick ourselves up, stay positive, spread love, peace, joy, all of that. So I guess just go out into the world, accept your life and the problems that come with it, because accepting that it really helps you to move past them. So go out, give good vibes, spread smiles, and try your best. Good luck.